A Huddle of Hostages, posted by u/mindfreak02 over on r/hfy. The pirates have been scouring the ship for hours by now, and as another frustrated and angry growl bellows through the cargo hold. Karichi feels it yet again. They still haven't found what they are looking for. Even worse, no one knows what they are looking for. Nestled between his captain, the helmswoman, the chief of security, and the cargo mistress, huddled in the middle of the hostages, the ensign feels awfully out of place. Not because of the hijacking, not because of the rough treatment of the hostages, but because he shouldn't be there. As engineer third class, he wasn't even supposed to be on the bridge. And now he was in the middle of the highest ranking officers of the ship, and literally tied to them. So yeah, he was out of place. Another low growl echoes through the chamber, as yet another heavily armed Kurog paces around the pile of squirming fear. Karichi nervously licks his nose as he follows the pirate with all four of his eyes around the room. There is no sense in it. If they wanted to look for something, they would have spaced the crew and disassembled the ship. But for some reason, they weren't given the quick out and are forced to stick around. Why haven't they killed us outright? The engineer realizes too late he voiced his concerns out loud, as the mountain of carapace and bad mood turns to him, making direct eye contact, and, with quite a rude volume, growls something he understood even without a translator. Silence! He flinches instinctively and regrets his decision, as he makes a very painful first contact with the helmswoman in front of him. A pained groan escapes his lips, and he hears the pirate growl silently yet again. I don't know either, a voice to his left quietly mutters. The unexpected answer returns the engineer's thoughts back to the situation at hand. A quick glance, and he realizes it was the captain that answered him. Confused and unsure how to react, the ensign just continues his original train of thought. If they were after the cargo, they would have taken it and left us here. If they were after the ship, they would have spaced us. So why, in Cockney's cluster, are we still here? If I knew it, we wouldn't, a gruff voice behind him says. Apparently the security guy. If I knew, I wouldn't have lost 3 details defending something they apparently weren't after. If I knew, I wouldn't have sent them defending the special cargo, and would have them focus on the crew as they should have been in the first place. It's not your fault, Jelk. We couldn't have known. They've been looking like ordinary pirates the entire time. Still do. Nothing has indicated anything else. Just be glad that those who are still alive are, and none of those who put their trust in your security have suffered any serious harm. A deep grumbling interrupts the conversation as the trio realizes their voices have reached levels of normal conversation. And their captors don't seem so happy about it. Yeah, I know. It still pains me though, the chief continues quietly. Please keep it down before they actually start killing us, the Mississippi pilot in front of Karichi threw into the conversation. The female to his right quietly uttered. Like Colnack already said, if they wanted the cargo, they would have taken it. If they wanted the ship, they would have taken it. If they wanted anything of material value, they would be gone by now. So as far as I would hazard a guess, they want the crew. So no matter what we do, there's a decent chance most of the crew gets out alive. Somehow. Her voice trailed off. Suddenly it dawns on the engineer. You're not saying... You don't think they're slavers? An audible gasp erupts from the middle of the pile as everyone in earshot starts to panic in silence. Possibly could also just be a gang of abduction extortionists. Slavery is legal in these parts, and the closest station where you can sell slaves. Well, let's just say they wouldn't make a profit. How are you so sure about this? Oh, there's a lot of dark history in my past. Let's just say I know those things. That's the first I've heard of it, the captain quips in. But you have taken me on if you knew, the logistician shot back. Yeah, you're probably right. And I would have regretted it. Besides the point, if you make it out of here, I'll need to take advantage of that kind of knowledge. Bet. Keyword, if. The gaggle went silent after that one. They are still stuck, trapped by pirates. Best case, they want money. Worst case, they are slavers. And their free lives were over. As the gravity of the situation sinks in around them, the engineer breaks the silence with yet another question. Still, why are we still here? As he states this question, he earns a quizzical look from the group around him. You know, here. Like I said, they probably want the crew. As she gets interrupted. No, that's not what I mean. Why are we still here, like physically? Well, the cargo hold is the largest room in the ship, easy to oversee. The captain starts before being interrupted himself. Yeah, I know, that's clear, but I mean physically in space, here. Another round of confused looks tells him he won't get anywhere like this. Look, the pirates have been in control of the ship for hours now. We've relinquished all command of the ship and its control functions to the pirates. And yet, we haven't moved. We've been drifting through space for hours. They haven't fired the thrusters or activated warp drive, despite it being charged the entire time. Okay, how do you know that? I retort from his left. Long story short, Gale told me. The inertial dampeners are good, but not perfect. Same goes for the warp drive. The shielding is good, but not perfect. If you know what to look for, you'll know, no matter where on the ship you are, well, almost anywhere. So what am I looking for? It's hard to describe, so I can't really help you with that, but Gale probably could. Karichi stretches his neck and starts looking around the hold. After 3.5 rounds, his movements slow down significantly as he realizes it. Someone is missing. His pale green skin loses all color. What's wrong? The pilot gives him a concerned look. I think... Yes? I think I solved it. What? Captain, I take it they also got access to the crew logs when we relinquished power? Probably. No, wait. Very likely, yes. Why? Someone is missing. Who? Take one trinidad of a guess. Don't tell me. Gale. The ensign gave a solemn nod and continued. I think they are looking for her, and I think I know where she is. Wait, you know? I might. And if I'm right, they can look all they want. And they'll die of exhaustion before they find her. There are Linghani pirates. I highly doubt that. Oh, trust me. If they continue like that, they will. At least, if they keep the warp drive charged. Why? By now the captain looked deeply concerned. The engineer straightens up and takes a long, careful look around to make sure none of the captors are paying attention. When he is confident and satisfied, he lowers his head and starts whispering to make sure only the 4 around him take notice. Because our resident human, Grand Mistress of Ramshackle and Chief of Engineering, has probably taken her nap in the warp drive, as always, and is trapped in there until the core discharges. In? A whispering chorus around him answers. Apparently humans are immune to the forces inside the core. She says it's cozy, silent, dark, and nobody disturbs her in there. She also said that she uses the time dilation effect to get her subjective 8 hours of rest and less than 5 minutes ship time, making her a more efficient worker, in her words. I think she lost her marbles somewhere in there, and apparently she can't leave if the warp drive is in any non-grounded state. A collective sigh makes the round across the quartet of officers. I think we stand a chance, if we let the human run rampant. All heads turn to the chief, who had been lamenting for the better part of their conversation. The idea was so irresponsible, so stupid, so reckless, that it could actually work. But the question remains, how? The pilot made a point, but then Karichi had an idea. We convinced the pirates she's already gone. How? Simple. What's the first thing they did when they took control? I don't know. They jettisoned the escape pods, the captain answered for her. And Gale just happens to take a nap inside a pod when the pirates boarded. Being a timid engineer, what is she supposed to do but hide in the pod until danger is over, just to be jettisoned unaware of anything. In the escape pod with a faulty transmitter. In the escape pod with the faulty transmitter that she was supposed to be repairing. There would be a work in progress ticket in the system. I was going to investigate that. Sounds like one tall tale, the chief quips. It isn't that tall. Should work for some pirates. You get their attention, I'll do the rest. The sudden confidence of the cargo mistress caught the ensign off guard. What do you mean? Just start talking. Get them to tell you what they are looking for. I'll take the rest. Alright. It was my idea, so here goes nothing. He relaxes his shoulders and looks to the ceiling. Takes a few breaths and collects himself, before standing up and screaming at the pirates, still circling the hostages. What in the name of the unwished enigma takes you so long? What do you want from us? The pirate pauses in confusion. The small and quivering Kunaks in the middle of the huddle, who made the most intimidated expression of all of them, had suddenly had an outburst. Taken aback, he looked around at his fellow pirates with a questioning expression, but no one was sure how to react. We've been tied up for hours and nothing is happening. What the hell is going on? Just His rant was cut off as one of the higher ranked pirates entered the room and motions him to stop. And who exactly gives you the authority? I do, as you are clearly not in control. And what gives you that impression? The Langani smirks bemused. Oh, I don't know. The frustrated groans down the halls, the restless troops switching guard duties ever more frequently. It almost seems like you're running out of time for something. The smirk washes off the pirate's face immediately. And what are you hoping to get out of this? The engineer chokes the rest of his sentence and falls into the lap of the astrogator, as the woman to his left sweeps him off his legs. Oh, shut it before you do something stupid, she comments. Oh, like the stupid people doing stupid stuff. The pirate smiles sadistically. I think I'll have some fun with you first when we get back to base. Then why are we still here? The ensign prompts with fake outrage. We're still missing one. The pirate's eyes narrow. Wait, you're missing one? The cargo mistress interjects. The pirate groans and looks at the data tablet. Apparently your chief engineer is still missing. Oh no. You jettisoned the escape pods, right? Yes, standard operating procedure. There is a good chance he was in one of them. What do you mean? She has a weird habit of taking naps in there. Naps? Short bursts of controlled unconsciousness to recuperate mental fortitude, during which she is nearly invisible to the vital scanners. Either you unknowingly ejected her, or she is crawling in the vents. The pirate groans and sinks her head in her hands. So you are telling me that we ejected her hours ago while drifting in the void? In an escape pod without a transmitter, probably. Huh? She was supposed to investigate a broken transmitter. I bet she took the opportunity to take a nap on shift. The lazy cragnoid. So we can either try searching for her or let her die out there. The expression in the face of the pirate changes to one of utter annoyance and frustration, before hanging her head and leaving the room. 2 minutes later, a communique sounded over the ship's channels, warning everyone of an incoming hyperjump, followed shortly by the unmistakable feeling Karichi had committed to heart. The feeling of a hyperjump and the discharging of the warp drive. There was a chance. With a groan, she turns around and crawls out of the nook she took her usual nap in. Well, usual is an insult to her nap, because it wasn't just one or two, but a few. Something had happened and trapped her in the core. Again. To her estimate, it was probably about 9 hours ship time. The fact that the dilation got worse when the core is charged still didn't help. Still, there are worse things than being trapped in one of your favorite spaces for 2.5 years. It didn't matter. Something had gone terribly wrong, and it was her job, duty, and obligation to fix it. And knowing nothing about what happened meant just one thing: the highest degree of caution. She groaned again. It's on year 7 all over again, isn't it?